Subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss another video of Bhakti Charu Swami.
Today. Very good.
Surat, from Surat, 4 students.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. How many of you are from Surat? Yeah, I met you all yesterday, right? You're blocking the way. Huh? Yeah, you sit down so that others can see. Is it being Mayapur TV or just recording you? You're recording it, yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm very happy to meet all of you. And how did you like the programs last couple of days? Okay, very good. And so do you feel that you came closer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So that's the important thing, like you see in the schools and colleges and universities, there's lots of different subjects and topics are being taught, but there is no information, no teaching, no education about Krishna consciousness, about God. All in the name of science, isn't it? But the real science is actually the science about spiritual reality. Science means study of knowledge that can be experimentally verified, right? Science needs experimental proof, experimentally verified. Now, can the spiritual reality be experimentally verified? Huh? Yes, right? We can say a difference between a dead body and a living body. What makes a dead body alive? Soul. But there is no study of that subject. No education about that subject. But isn't that the most important subject? Matter is there, fine, like human beings, naturally controlled matter, utilized matter through technology. No doubt there has been a lot of advancement. But whatever we do in the material domain will come to an end at the time of death. For example, no matter how successful a person is, like he may be, he may have invented so many things, he may be running a multinational company, he might be sitting over billions of dollars, but when he dies, can he claim any of the money that he has in the bank? Can he claim the company that he has established? Can he claim all the inventions that he has made? No. So this is how we can see how futile, how meaningless our materialistic endeavors are. But now we can consider at death, everything will come to an end. Right? But the question is, will we continue after death? Will we continue to exist after death? What will be the answer?
Yes.
Yes. Then at death nothing will come to an end. Only the body will come to an end, material things will come to an end, but we will continue. Now the question is, if we are going to continue, how we are going to continue? Does it need some preparation? Does it need some information? Like for example, if you are going to America, do you go there totally unprepared? You make all the arrangements, where you're going to stay, what you're going to do. You also make it a point that you have sufficient money to deal with the situation there before you go there. So when we know that we have to go to some place, we make preparations. So isn't it appropriate that we should make preparation for our life after death? Isn't that an important consideration? So that is the thing. Like, we are not saying reject matter, but we are saying become concerned about your spiritual identity, spiritual self. And when you do that, then you see that material aspects are not rejected, but material aspects are utilized. How many of you are reading Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, I thought as well all of you are reading. Are you familiar with that verse? Jat karosi. Yes? So Krishna is not telling don't do anything. Krishna is saying whatever you do. Krishna is not saying you stop eating. Krishna is saying whatever you eat. Krishna is not saying you don't give in charity. Krishna is not saying that you don't perform austerities. But Krishna is saying that you do all that with me in mind. Madarpanam, offer to me. Now the thing is, when you offer to Krishna, do you lose it? Say for example, food. When you offer it to Krishna, does Krishna eat up everything and our plate remains empty? No. Whatever we do, it's something like the child, takes something for the father and says, Daddy, I got it for you. Now maybe the father doesn't need that, but just that gesture, just that act fills the father's heart with love. So Krishna doesn't need anything from us. But when we do that, offer it to Krishna, then Krishna feels happy, Krishna feels pleased. So why shouldn't we try to do that? And what can we not do for Krishna? If Arjuna can fight a battle where he has to kill his own relatives and friends, what can be more difficult act than that? So through that, Krishna is saying that you can do anything for me. If Arjuna can fight a battle where he'll have to kill his relatives, that actually means that, because that's the most critical situation. Most critical situation. Can you imagine? Like, you have to kill somebody whom you love. But it's not that one is going out of his way to kill that person. Everybody tried to prevent that battle, stop that battle. But Duryodhana was adamant. And those who joined with Duryodhana, they decided on their own. So now the scene has already been set. So what can be done now? Now the battle is going to take place, and the battle means those who are on the enemy side, you have to kill them. Battle means either you kill them or you get killed. So he has been forced to kill his relatives because they decided to be on the enemy side. So that's why Arjun is facing that difficult situation, but Krishna is telling him, Arjun, it's their own doing that they decided to stay on that side. It's they who wanted to fight the battle. So it's all their doing. So what can you do now? Now you are a warrior, you have been forced to come to the battlefield, you have to fight. But the difference between Arjun fighting and Duryodhana's fighting, there's a big difference. To begin with, Arjun didn't want to fight. But then he agreed to fight because Krishna wanted him to fight. Whereas Duryodhana is fighting to win the kingdom. So that's the difference. Whether we should act for our own enjoyment or for Krishna's pleasure. That is the option that everybody is left with. And now the intelligent people have to decide which side to take, and they will naturally decide to do it for Krishna. Because by doing for Krishna, you gain everything. And you get the support of Krishna. See, when you're fighting for somebody, when you're doing something for somebody, and if the person is very resourceful, won't he provide all the help that you need? If a rich man has a cook, if the cook wants to cook something nice for his master, does he have to go beg money to buy the food for master? No. Master will provide everything. So that's what happens when you serve Krishna. Krishna will provide with everything that we need. Only difference is that the ordinary master, we can see him, we can talk to him, but here we can't see Krishna, therefore we have to act with faith. That Krishna is there, if I'm serving Krishna, Krishna will provide. That's the only difference. And we have the faith that Krishna is there, isn't it? Isn't Krishna there? Isn't Krishna seeing everything? Isn't Krishna registering whatever we have in our hearts? And if our intention to serve him is genuine, then won't Krishna give us all the help? And the result is, whatever we do will be successful. Like victory for Arjun or Pandavas were, guaranteed. Krishna showed Arjun. All these people are dead. It's not that you have to kill them. They're already dead. Victory is yours. So that's what happens when we do things for Krishna. So do things. Do things. Whatever you like to do, do it. But do it for Krishna. If you like to fight, fight. But fight for Krishna. If you like to write, write for Krishna. If you like to sing, sing for Krishna. If you like to dance, dance for Krishna. If you like to speak, speak for Krishna. You can do everything for Krishna actually. Whatever you like to do, just do it for Krishna. That's the meaning of Krishna consciousness. It's simply a matter of paradigm shift from selfishness to Krishna consciousness. Instead of doing it for my sake, let's do it for Krishna. Isn't it a nice proposal? So, do whatever you are doing. Now you may say, well, I have to take up a job, I have to work for somebody. Just consider that is you're doing because you're forced to do it. You need to earn some money. So that's why you're doing the job. But then you consider what you're going to do with that money. Okay, you have to maintain your family. You have to maintain your house. So just make your family into a family of Krishna's devotees. Make your house into a Krishna temple. Then all the money that you're earning is being utilized for Krishna. It's not that you don't have to take care of your family. No, take care of your family. But consider that this family is not your family. This family is Krishna's family. Your father, your mother, although you have your relationship with them, but ultimately they are Krishna's. If you get married, your wife, she's Krishna's. Your children will be Krishna's. Your brothers and sisters are Krishna's. So it's simply a matter of Krishna consciousness. So please apply that in your life, and I can guarantee you, your life will be completely successful. And the best thing, of course, I'll admit, best thing, of course, I'll narrate one incident. One day I was sitting in front of Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada just started to speak to me. I didn't ask him anything. I was just sitting there. It was so nice to just sit in front of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was having a massage, oil massage, before taking his bath. And I was sitting there, and Prabhupada started to speak. Prabhupada said, for many, many lifetimes, you are trying to enjoy. And you can see that you're still not satisfied. So offer this life to Krishna. Offer this life to Krishna. And see what happens. Just offer this life to Krishna. And don't get involved with any woman. And then he explained that this material nature is a prison house of sex desire. Prabhupada used the Sanskrit term maithunagaro. Maithun means copulation, sex life. And agar means prison house. In normal prison house, people are tied up with chains. But in this prison house, how is everyone tied up? With sex desire. And then he explained what the sex desire is. You know how he explained sex desire? First thing he said, it's like an itch. Now, the more you itch, the more you want to itch. And the more you itch, it starts to hurt. It starts to bleed. And then he explained that this sex life is something like a camel eating thorns. The camel is eating the thorns, and as a result of that, its mouth and its tongue, its palate is bleeding. And he is tasting its own blood, and camel is thinking, oh, how delicious the thorns are. So the sex act is actually an act through which you lose your vitality, the vital energy of your body in the form of semen. And one thinks, oh, how enjoyable this act is. So, in this way, he just explained that how this material nature is a prison house of sex desire, and what sex life actually is. Yes, it is necessary for the sake of procreation, but not for sense pleasure. But everyone is tied up with that. So if one wants to make spiritual advancement, he'll have to If you're tied up in a prison house with chains, and if you want to become free from the imprisonment, what do you have to do? Get rid of the shackles, right? So similarly, if we want to get out of this material nature, if we want to make spiritual advancement, then we have to conquer sex desire. So that happened in 1977, 42 years ago. And I tried to follow this instruction of Srila Prabhupada. And I can assure you that never ever I felt that I made a wrong decision. By offering my life to Krishna was the perfect decision that I made. And this is the due to Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So I'll also make the same proposal to you. Just offer this life to Krishna. And that's what Prabhupada finally told me. Just offer this life to Krishna. Even if nothing happens, even if there is no gain, if nothing happens, what's the loss? It's just one life out of so many. So can't we risk one lifetime? Let this life be offered to Krishna. And let's see what happens. And if nothing happens, if it's a failure, total failure, what's the loss? There's so many lifetimes we had been already lived. And so many lifetimes we can have in the future. Anyway, I leave this proposal to you all. So you all consider that. And I tell you, there is a need for involvement, especially youth involvement. Because it's the youth that make things happen. Because you're full of vitality, you're full of energy, you're full of enthusiasm, you're full of drive. So youth is the time that you can achieve things. And the whole world is in a very, very critical condition. Now does anybody can anybody come up with any solution to the world problem, world situation? There's only one solution: Krishna consciousness. Isn't it? Like, look at any country, America, Russia, China, they all are having problems, and they all are causing problems for others. The only solution is Krishna consciousness. Why? Because the whole world belongs to Krishna. Now, if you are in somebody's house and do not accept the owner of the house, can you live there peacefully? So we are living in a house that is built by Krishna. This material world is Krishna's creation. Krishna is maintaining. Now, if we do not accept Krishna, how can we live here peacefully? On the other hand, if we accept Krishna, then at least one thing will happen: our individual problems will be solved. Do you feel that by accepting Krishna, your problems have been solved? Right. Now, if your problem has been solved due to Krishna consciousness, now if everybody takes to Krishna consciousness, will everybody's problem be solved? Isn't it a simple conclusion? So that's why it's so much needed. And it is expanding, and it needs to expand, and this is going to solve the world problem. And as a result of that, what will happen? As a result of that, all the countries in the world will become Krishna conscious. And this is how the golden age will be established for 10,000 years. And now who is going to do it? You all have to do it. When we were young, we did something. Now we are old. So therefore we are looking up to you all. We can guide you with our experience. But when it comes to doing things, achieving things, then we have to look up to you. So please take to this Krishna consciousness wholeheartedly. And as I said, that there is no compulsion. It's not that everybody has to become full-time devotees of Krishna, or everybody has to give his whole life to Krishna. Those who want to get married, yes, get married. Then you have to produce children so that they'll become the future warriors. We need recruitment in the army. So, wherever you are, in whichever way you want, just become involved in Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Does anybody have any question? Yes?
Thank you for the wonderful class. Maharaj, while rendering services, many times we undergo different anarthas attack us, and we become bewildered by that. So at that time, how we can take shelter of Krishna? How we can take shelter of?
There are various ways you can do that. Say, if you have some problem, one thing you can try to do, just open Bhagavad Gita and start reading, and I can guarantee you'll get the answer, solution to the problem. That's one thing. Well, if that doesn't work, then you can ask the senior devotees, other devotees, share your difficulties with them, and they'll guide you. Like, you see, we need the guidance. Anarthas are actually the onslaughts of Maya, isn't it? Now, who can actually counteract Maya's onslaught? Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Right? Did you ever try that? Maybe you can tell me about some problem that may be in your mind.
Sometimes, when we are with devotees, when we are dealing with devotees, then many times our false ego is very high, and other persons, we try that. We try to force them, I am more dominant, like that. That pride is there many times, and many times we have attacks of lust, like that, at that times.
Okay. So, solution. Right? Trinadopi sunichena tarariva shahishnana. Right? Mahaprabhu gave the solution already. Don't become arrogant. As a devotee, become humble. Like, when you become humble, then you won't try to dominate over others. Rather, you will try to help them. And there are two ways of approaching. Do this. Right? Prabhu, can you please do this? See, just, same thing, but you have two different approach, right? One is, as you were saying, the arrogant approach. I am superior to you. I am commanding. I am humble. I am placing myself in a situation that I am inferior to you. Even though I may be superior, but I am placing myself in an inferior situation. Then how will the other person react? Won't he react favorably? So, if you try to dominate, then his natural reaction will be, who the hell you are? You're speaking to me like that? Am I your servant? The other one is, in spite of being so advanced, so senior, he is approaching me in such a way. Then his reaction will, he'll offer obeisances to you and say, Prabhu. So that's, just two different approaches make such a big difference. Therefore, this instruction is very important. Be humble, be tolerant, offer all respect to others, and don't expect any respect for yourself. All right? Yes?
Maharaj, how to take care of this judging mentality? Means in devotee community we judge each and every act of the devotee like this.
Well, if by your situation you're a judge, then you have to judge. Like, when you are in a management, then you have to actually judge, you have to assess, you have to correct. But if you don't have that position, then take the humble position. Don't become the judge, but be the judged. Yes?
One the question is from last class you told that we should be dependent on someone, like Krishna, we should be dependent on Krishna. But sometimes like when I do some work and if that work is completely successful, then we consider, oh, this is Krishna's mercy. And similarly when we are doing some work and that work is unfortunately not successful, failure. So I consider it as this may be Krishna's mercy. But sometimes I had a question that this may be due to I was not focused in that work. So and then was that?
That's good. That's very good. On the other hand, you know how generally people think? He thinks that if I'm successful, or when he is successful, he thinks that he has the credit. See, I am such a great person, I am so competent, I am so capable, I have done this. Right? And if it's a failure, look, Krishna, what did he do to me? Right? In that respect, there is a saying that success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. So, anyway, this is a good attitude. If there is success, you give credit to Krishna. By Krishna's mercy, it happened. And if there is a failure, you take the blame yourself. It's my fault that I failed. Now let me correct myself and not make the same mistake. Right? That is the attitude of a devotee. If there is a failure, not that always you'll be successful. If there's a failure from the mistake, from the failure, you learn. Prabhupada used to say, it's not wrong, it's not harmful, it's not wrong to make mistake, but it's wrong not to learn from the mistake. We'll make mistakes, but let's learn from the mistakes. Thank you. Yes?
Thank you very much for inspiring all of us. Related to first question, I have also one question. Like, Maharaja, you also feel that problem that this pride and dominating nature, whenever we feel so, as a solution, devotee suggests us to do some menial services. But sometimes it also happens that when we do menial services, then that also gives us pride. Oh, I have done this toilet cleaning, or externally sometimes we try to become humble. We are saying others Prabhus, and we are offering obeisances, Vaishnava pranam to them. But internally it becomes a little difficult for us to become humble, and that means even after doing menial services, then also that pride is coming.
Okay, so if you realize that the pride is there, then try to get rid of it. Right? Like, yes, pride will be there, but not that the very first day, the day we step in, we become perfect devotees. We have to recognize we have a long way to go. You have a lot of corrections to make, a lot of improvements to make.
Guru Maharaj, my question is when we initially come to Krishna consciousness, we are very enthusiastic and everything seems so wonderful. But as we grow and means spend much time, that enthusiasm gradually decreases and means we
Very
start
good.
finding like boring. So
Yeah.
what are the
Very good. Actually, you heard of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of our previous acharyas. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote a book called Madhurya Kadambini. It's actually showing, different stages of devotion. And he is dealing with this point or this problem. And he is justifying that initially when we start, then that phase is called Utsahamayi, full of enthusiasm. And he is comparing that to like a child gets a book, new book. The child is so fond of the book that he even goes to sleep with the book, right? He can't read, he is holding the book upside down and pretending as if, he is so attentively reading it. But then comes a phase, the child loses interest in that book. Then sometimes he is interested, sometimes he is not. So that is our stage. Initially, because it's something new, we are very enthusiastic. But that enthusiastic is not genuine, it's childish. Very soon it disappears. And then you come to a stage when sometimes we are enthusiastic, sometimes we are not. And that phase is anartha phase. And anartha nibritti, the anarthas will go away. Then will come nishtha, fixed up. So initial stage of, interest is not genuine, is just a passing phase. And we have to get rid of anarthas. Anarthas means, all kinds of undesirable, unnecessary things will be coming on our way. Like Maya's allurement, they are all unnecessary. Desire for distinction, profit, adoration, they all are temporary. We have to climb above them, and then we'll come to a stage of fixed up devotion. But keep on practicing. That sadhana will give us siddhi or perfection.
When we do seva, personally what I have realized that when I do seva, and if devotee don't recognize, so I feel little less enthusiastic or I start finding fault for no reason. But when somebody recognize and glorify, then I feel that I am not worthy of it. Recognition. So when they recognize, then
yeah, see, like a condition, you want glorification, and when you get the glorification, you say, well, so rise above that. So these are the two sides of the same coin. All right. Anyway, as I said again, keep on practicing the process. It will happen. And go through your life, go through your spiritual life. And you'll see with time maturity will come. But don't deviate from the process. Continue. Keep practicing the process that Prabhupada gave. Keep reading Prabhupada's books. Associate with the devotees. And this is how, gradually you'll make advancement. Okay, last 3 questions, 4 questions, 5 questions, 6 questions. Okay, last 6 questions. We'll start from here.
Okay, for the last one, Mr. Charu, I'm in class. So my question was that, like you were telling some in the lectures, like the vision what you are having for the youths and what the vision that actually you are carrying for our mission of Singapore. I wanted to know a little bit more. I recently came into Bhakti.
Well, you see, the vision has been said by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every town and village all over the world. That's the vision he gave us. And now we have to work towards that. We may not be able to convert the whole world, but at least we can convert those who are around us. We can give them Krishna consciousness. And also some will listen, some will accept, some will not. Doesn't matter. Let's keep on. And when we sincerely try, then Krishna will make it happen. All right? So, Mahaprabhu's instruction, whoever you see, speak to him about Krishna. Right? Give him the instruction that Krishna gave in Bhagavad Gita. Request them to read Bhagavad Gita. Request them to chant and explain to them what's the benefit of chanting. Next is, yes?
Sometimes we are very spiritually weak. We are anarthas or very physically or mentally we are very weak. But you have to come to Nishtha stage. So what is the best thing you have to focus in that stage? You become very gradually very fast into Nishtha stage. Because many times we
Yeah, Nishtha stage will mean that not be affected by anarthas. Meaning, anarthas can be classified as material desires. Material desires. As you're saying, pride, desire for recognition, desire for, it can be classified in 3 categories. Dhanam, desire for wealth. Janam, desire for followers, and desire for beautiful women. Now the thing is, if they come, then use them in Krishna's service. Money, we don't say no, we don't need any money. We say, if money is coming, we offer it in service of Krishna. If I am gaining some popularity, let me utilize the popularity in giving them Krishna consciousness. So this is how, by practicing the process properly, we become free from anarthas. And as I said, after the anartha nivritti comes the stage of nishtha, fixed up.
Sometimes the stage comes when we are very so much weak, spiritually very able to distinguish.
So try to get over that phase. This is the anartha phase. Hridaya Daurballa, this is another thing, weakness of the heart. Get rid of them. These are all anarthas. Only when you're free from anartha, then only you'll become fixed up. Right?
You should try to ignore all these things and you do constantly what is to do.
Not ignore, rather work through them, go through them. Right? Like say, for example, if there is some weakness, then overcome the weakness. Don't put the thing aside. Go through it. Say, for example, you don't like to chant. That's an anartha. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to say, okay, I'm not feeling like chanting, so I won't chant? Will you do that? Or will you say, okay, no, I have to chant. Whether I like it or not, I have to chant. That is the mood that we have to cultivate. Whatever we have to do, we have to do. All right? Okay, next.
That's, I wanted to ask, look, how do you want to be your disciples to be in Krishna consciousness? Specifically, for your disciples, what are your expectations from us?
Well, you see, say in an army, there are different officers, different ranks. Say there is a captain. He has his troop. What does he do with his troop? Execute the command of the senior ones, the general, ultimately the general. So in ISKCON, we all want to follow Srila Prabhupada's command. And what Prabhupada wanted. And Prabhupada wanted all the devotees become very sincerely involved in serving Krishna and promoting Krishna consciousness. So that's what we want. First you become a very good devotee and then make others into devotees. That's the captain or a leader wants. His followers should become properly situated in the army to execute the command of the general. Yes?
First is like when we see different devotees, they are practicing very nicely. Instead of appreciating them, sometimes they start envying them. So how to overcome that?
It is a good thing to do. Then, what are you going to do? So, if you know that it's not the right thing to do, then don't do it. Work on that. Try to recognize that this person is getting the recognition because he's qualified. People are recognizing his qualifications, qualities, and they're giving the recognition. And you can also ultimately consider, well, Krishna wants to glorify him, so let him be glorified. Let me glorify him also, because Krishna wants to glorify him. Right? This is how we have to get rid of the envy in our hearts. Very good point you made. Like, it's there, we can't really avoid it. But the thing is, let's work on it. Second question.
We should do whatever we like. So some person is there who don't like to practice Krishna consciousness, we should practice it.
He likes to?
We should do whatever we like. Don't do something forcefully. So in Krishna consciousness, someone don't want to practice Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, the thing is, the bottom line is Krishna consciousness. And so that should be there, but then do things with Krishna consciousness. Right?
I have 2 questions. First question, sometimes in life we come across certain circumstances where we get bewildered. So whatever transcendental knowledge we have learned from our superiors, so we are not able to practice that, we are not able to apply that. We commit mistake, we take wrong decisions. Then afterwards we come to know why took wrong decision. But under the second time also same kind of situation comes, and we had learned before that I had committed this kind of wrong decision I had taken. Again we happen to take wrong decision. At that point of time we are not able to make right decision.
So as I said, making mistake is not bad. But not to learn from a mistake is bad. Right? So you made a mistake, you realize that it was a mistake and it was wrong. So is it all right not to correct it and carry on doing the same, committing the same mistake? Right? So that's what we have to do. Right? And if you can't overcome it yourself, take the help from other devotees. Right?
In the explorer of movement, like we are not able to
Okay, fine. Second time you made a mistake. But then, third time what will you do? Okay, third time also you did the same. Fourth time what are you going to do? Right. Second question.
How do we increase our service attitude? Like our goal is that we should have this uninterrupted and motivated service attitude.
By enjoying what you are doing. If it's a burden, then you won't be able to appreciate it. Don't take your service as a burden. And if the service becomes burdensome, then who is giving you the service, tell him, Prabhu, give me some other service. Right? There's no harm in that. So the point is, Krishna consciousness should be executed happily. As Krishna is Sukham Kartum Abhayam. One should execute his devotion service happily.
One question related to this. So like this is you told ki how we should enjoy whatever service we are doing. If it is becoming burdensome, we should equal the service and clear weakness and other service. But we have also heard ki like at a certain point we should be ready to do anything, whatever services we are given. So we should be ready to do anything, whatever is being given to us. So how to...
That stage, I would say, is a more advanced stage. Like at the initial stage, if you are not really so submissive, then the leader should not force one to do that. Rather, a good leader will make things interesting. Like, we used to have a godbrother, Jayananda Prabhu. You heard of him? He used to make the Rath cart. And he used, sometimes people out of curiosity would stand there and watch. And he would say, hey, can you please come and hold the nail when I'm hammering it? And so he'll come and hold the hammer. And then he'll say, hey, you're doing a great job. So why don't you take the hammer also? And that person, will happily just... So this is how a good leader will engage, others into the service of Krishna. Last question, yeah? How many questions do you have?
How to increase our greed for spiritual advancement? How to increase our greed?
Greed.
Many times we are in base and we are actually saturated.
Do whatever you like to do. Like if you like to take prasad, become greedy about prasad. Right? If you like to chant, then become greedy about chanting. If you develop the greed of reading, in this way you develop the greed, right? By greed will come through appreciation. Do you become greedy about something that you don't like? So what do you become greedy about? Things that you like. So like what you are doing and become greedy about it.
We become saturated, like we are in devotee association. So we will think that all things are going nice. But we do not think that how much spiritual advancement we are making.
Doesn't matter. Remain in the devotee association. Become greedy about devotee association. You'll be on the right track. But when you are in the association of devotees, talk about Krishna, not about mundane topics.
Another question is, we do not want to displease our seniors and we want to follow all their instructions. But many times while following their instructions, by small things like in management, we many times displease them. So,
if you feel that you displeased him, just go and tell him, Prabhu, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. The matter will be solved. Thank you all very much. All glories to okay.
as you replied that we should increase our greed for something we like we means for your answering. For prasadam, if we are increasing, so we become choosy regarding prasadam also. We treat rasgulla and rasmalai as a prasadam. If we want to finish it means 100%, but we means don't appreciate sabji, dal, rice. Means like after Sunday feast, if it is remaining in next morning, so even before breakfast we want to finish it. And we say to seniors that it's a prasad, we are offering our respect to prasad, we should finish it. But regarding dal sabji, we are not listening.
Okay, wait for rasmalai. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All of you become very good devotees.